All right, it's Bill here from Maple Leaf Enterprises. This is kind of a part two slash maybe part 1B, part 2A probably we call it. In our installation yesterday, we did an install on Oracle Golden Gate on Linux CentOS 7. Pretty straightforward, right? Download, extract to a temporary directory. We can get the install, find the run installer. If you have anyone who's installed any Oracle products before, very, very standard installation. Make sure your environment variables are set. But I did want to just talk real quick before we get into the install. This was what we had done yesterday. We installed the version 12.301. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the Oracle or My Oracle Support web page. All right, and the reason I want to talk about it is because I believe that in today's environment, with there just being a plethora of information on just about everything there is. You can Google things, and then you get and then there's a million blogs, and there's tons of people out there willing to tell you, this is what I had done, or this is how it is. And a lot of stuff that I find with Oracle, which is a little frustrating, especially with people and their blogs, is that it's nothing more than just an Oracle note that's cut and pasted into their own, and then they push it out as if it's their own. And the one thing I have to say about, now look, I get it. Oracle's a big behemoth company. A lot of people like it as much as they dislike it, but it is what it is. But I always tell people, look, go and use your Oracle support. Go into the online documentation. It has to be probably one of the best online documentation sources, I believe, out of all the support sites that I've been on for a number of different products, whether it's VMware or Red Hat, or at the time it was WebLogic, or even Microsoft. The support for Oracle is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, as far as documentation, is just boilerplate documentation, you can get everything you need. And I'm literally, since this is the first time I'm going to be installing Golden Gate, this version of Golden Gate, there is some intricacies that are different from the version that I'm most comfortable with. So I'm going to be following along with the documentation. So anyway, to get the documentation, you go in, whichever you choose. We happen to be dealing with middleware. You go into middleware, and then just kind of scroll down, and then you will see Golden Gate. And you can see there's a number of different products. They have the Director, they have the Monitor, they have Big Data, you name it. So we're just going to go, and they also have Golden Gate for Veridata, which is a different beta. We're just going to go into the Golden Gate generic, right, standard. And then this is the 12.301 documentation. All right, and then here you can actually install, you'll look at the different products. And then all we're going to do is installing Golden Gate install for Oracle database, right? So if you're actually doing it for different platforms, DB2, MySQL, Microsoft, okay, that sort of thing, you can actually get the documentation for that, even upgrade, or how do you upgrade. I'm going to be just following along with this install for Oracle database. I'm going to go ahead and click it, and you're going to get the complete documentation for this install. And I'm not going to be doing anything more sophisticated than just following along with this. Now, a lot of things I have done before, so I'm going to rip through them pretty quick. But as far as the presentation here on how to get Golden Gate configured and set up, I'm going to be following along with this documentation. There's a couple different ways, though, now you can set up. There's different capture methods, right? There's the capture method now and the apply method. The capture method is like, one method is actually more built into the database, and the other method is really setting Golden Gate up in the original fashion that it was brought into Oracle product-wise, as being like a separate API interfacing with the database. So I'm going to probably, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, quite honestly. Most of my implementation has been the apply method, which is basically we're going to take archive logs, or in our case, we're going to take trail logs from Golden Gate, and we're going to push them over to a target database, and then we're going to apply them, right? So that is your apply method. There's also this capture method, which I have never set up, quite honestly, yet. And so I don't really know, perfectly honestly, whether or not there's a difference or not in how you set it up. To me, on the surface, just from what I've read, it looks like one's a little more integrated into the database, and the other is more configured like an API, where it's just like a set of software binaries that are interfacing with the database itself. So anyway, we're just going to go and follow this documentation here. So I guess we'll call this part 2A as kind of a precursor to that, and I'm just gonna follow the documentation, and then I'm gonna go ahead and present a video based on that piece of documentation, and we're gonna walk through this Golden Gate install together. All right, so I hope this helps. Again, this is follow along. Go to My Oracle Support, online documentation, middleware, Golden Gate install for Oracle.